Hey there, it's Chris Mack, and today I want to go over some more truck essentials, mainly concerning tires. So if I get a chance, I'll roll in a picture here of what happened to my tire a few months ago, and I was happy I knew how to put a plug in a tire and things like that. So, and I had those things on hand as well, which is also really important. With that being said, I just wanted to show a few things that I keep in my truck concerning tire maintenance and care, because today I went to go get new tires and I was just like, wow, these are all the things that I'm really happy I have with me all the time. So let's start off with whenever you see in your vehicle that your tire pressure is low, to find out which tire it is if it's not obvious, because sometimes you don't see it completely flat. So like, okay, it's just below the pressure that the tire says it needs to have. I like to keep a actual pressure gauge with me, and that way I can check to see which tire has the problem. Another thing is if you have to change a tire, always have a spare. Folks who drive around and don't have a spare tire, that's kind of crazy in my book, but people do what they do. And sometimes people end up in situations where they've had to use their spare and then something happens again and just don't have the finance and things like that. But if at all possible, make sure you have a spare tire. But something else for a little bit of leverage, your car care kit that you have with the jack and the tire and everything like that, those are fine. But for some better leverage, if you can get a good 4-way to have this on hand, these are also really awesome. And anything that I have links for, I'll leave down below in the description as well. Something else is a plug kit. This has saved my butt a couple of times. This is where you find what is in your tire, you pull that out, and then you ream in that hole a little bit more, so that way you can take one of these very sticky plugs, put that in the forks here, and put that into your tire. So that's something that's very important to have with you as well. A patch kit, I feel like if you're dealing with a patch, it's more sidewall. That's more where you want to get into, put on your spare tire, and then just go get something replaced too. Another thing concerning spare tires is, if at all possible, try to have a full-size spare, especially if you're driving stuff that's off-road, because the little donut off-road is not going to be any fun. With that, getting something out of your tire, have a good multi-tool on hand, just because they've got a little bit of everything in it, so you can get a hold of the nail or the screw or whatever's in your tire, get that pulled out. So a good multi-tool is a good thing. And then if you are plugging a tire, your tire is going to be more flat by the time you're done doing a plug than whenever you start it. That's just kind of how it is, especially since you have to ream that hole out a little bit more. So it is good to have a really good air compressor. Now this one I had put on my Christmas list, and I actually did get it for Christmas from the in-laws this year. I'm not sure if it's actually a name. It's just GSPSCN. And what I like about this is, one, that comes with a really nice bag that everything that I've mentioned here fits into. But it also comes with this extra length of hose, which is really nice to have, especially if you're in a bigger vehicle. And then the other thing that I really like is the number of times. Now, this does have the cigarette lighter plug. However, it also has this connection piece where you can connect straight to your battery, which is a really good thing, because I feel like when you start to go with a bigger air compressor like this, that's something that you need a little bit more power. You can newer cars, they're actually fuses. I feel like they're dialed down a lot more. So let's say it's I'm just throwing out numbers here. So let's say it can hold up to 25. They'll actually only put like a 15 fuse into it for safety's sake. So you end up blowing a lot of fuses, and then you're trying to fix a fuse problem on top of fixing a tire problem. So I like the fact that you can hook this directly up to your battery. I really like this air compressor, especially after messing with a tire that's had problems with it for several months. I mean, it's not like I was having to air up every day, but it was, the plug would wear out after about 3 weeks to a month, and then I'd have to take the plug out, put a new plug in, air back up. So I'd say about every month for the last 4 months I've been dealing with this. and I wouldn't recommend doing that long, but we were in the process of looking at moving and things like that. So it was like, let's try and hold this off as much as we can until we're done with what we need to get done. So an air compressor like this is really nice. It airs up a lot faster, and again, I do like that it does hook directly to the battery. But I also have other air compressors as well. I keep one in every single vehicle. Some of them are smaller because this is for bigger tires and something that I was using more frequently. I would feel comfortable if I went off-road and were to air down all of my tires using this to air back up, and I don't feel like I'm going to overheat this thing up. Versus the little ones that you have for an emergency, and I'll link to those down below in the description as well. Those little ones for an emergency work just fine, but they're this is the better bang for your buck in my opinion, especially if you are doing off-roading and things like that. You do need to air up more often. But if you're looking to truly just have something in your car for that emergency situation, a smaller one does work just fine as well. All right. I think that's everything. Getting back in the swing of doing videos again. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, it's Chris Mack.